we've just learned that the federal government is the largest employer in the land? What? They don't make money. That means they are in the business of taking from you, from me, from each one of us. And they're now our biggest employer in this land. This place that was once the envy of the world has people begging for health care. This hasn't happened overnight. It's grown forever. Stop pointing fingers at the puppets on the string right now. I'm here to help you see why. You have to be done with their schemes to get voters. We have been lied to, and it really is time to divorce them so we can do more than just survive. Shouldn't it be the goal of a country to become and remain the richest nation on the earth so people aren't begging for things? What is the secret to becoming and remaining the richest nation on earth? It isn't having government as the largest employer in a country. It happens against all the odds of the annual growing laws upon you. It happens as an antidote to that. It happens with something against all those laws that hold you back. It happens through the prime law. What is the prime law? If you want to get rich, you really need to know. But you don't have to memorize it. You just need to know that it'll be there to support you. What is the prime law? It's the mechanism to remove the ruling class control on us. Each one of us, each individual. What is the rule of man? It is the only thing that keeps you and me from our flight to riches. Something the founders of this country expected us to have. The rule of man is the only thing that keeps us from our flight to riches. And it is the ruling class's secret suppression on us. I trust most of you are from America, if you're listening, but not all of you are. Keep in mind, this could work for any country, and that we've been held back from our riches. So how does a nation become and remain the richest nation on earth? The goal of any good government. All the people can live like millionaires, including the poor. Let me explain. During the computer revolution of the late 20th century, computer buying power multiplied so dramatically that ordinary families could buy computers that a few years earlier only millionaires could buy. The computer revolution's paradigm was elegantly simple, as follows. The ruling class had little control over the computer industry. The TVP, the 12 Visions Party, the cause you've been looking to be part of, takes that same paradigm and applies it to all American industries. Buying power can multiply 1,000 times, not just in buying computers, but in buying everything. That's necessary considering the prices of things have been rising for over 100 years here in America. And when the prime law nullifies the ruling class control, over all industries, the resulting TVP-induced, unhindered, great technological revolution will spread that same get millionaire rich paradigm beyond just the computer world, across all industries. With the new end the rule of man, thus eliminate the ruling class political system, with the prime law amendment to the U.S. Constitution, you will be able to buy what a few years before only millionaires could buy. The new political system is embodied in the new political party, the 12 Visions Party. This isn't something you should be afraid of. This is something you should embrace. TVP ignites the most real and ambitious get-rich program for the people in the history of mankind. This isn't political rhetoric like you're used to hearing. The TVP platform is named Make All the People Rich, including the poor. That title is literal, not figurative. The 12 Visions Party literally delivers the largest, most ambitious get-rich program since the beginning of civilization. This is how nations become rich. The entire non-ruling class, essentially all people, will be the beneficiaries. We don't have to wait to die to be somebody's beneficiary. Not with this plan. We don't have to wait for them to die to be the beneficiaries. Besides that, there's not much wealth being passed down anymore. It's a sign of the times. All the people will live like millionaires without lifting a finger. People will be 1,000 times richer. And if buying power multiplies 1,000 times, then you become rich. Consider this quote from Bill Gates. And I quote him. And we're sad that we lost Steve Jobs. Quote from Bill Gates. Another sign of a healthy, competitive industry is lower prices. The statistics show that the cost of computing has decreased 10 million-fold since 1971. That's the equivalent of getting a Boeing 747, one of those planes, for the price of a pizza. End quote. Yeah, he says that's the equivalent of getting a Boeing 747 for the price of a pizza. Through the TVP, that get-rich phenomenon applies universally, as explained by the founder of our party. That get-rich phenomenon happens with the computer industry like economic freedom under a protection-only government, purified by the Prime Law Amendment and protection-only budget. It's also known as the Prime Law budget. Yes, if we had a TVP president, oh yes, Congress would be fighting about the budget, but it would be because we'd be talking about slashing their salaries and slashing anything that's not to protect the people, because that's where the harm is done. With these two things, all people will get rich, including the poor. And all the 12, though we have a comprehensive list of protection-only planks in its national platform, the bottom line, results, yes, results, will be rapid and universal wealth and health for all citizens, including the poor. It is the largest, most realistic, and most comprehensive get-rich program ever conceived. Consider the 12 Visions Party, a get-rich plan for the people, the biggest get-rich opportunity of all time. The plan is quite simple. The rule of man, ruling class, upon our society pushes us all down into a suppressed class, all of us. If not for them pushing every industry down, then you would be rich. The entire suppressed class from all racial and social backgrounds would rise up into a wealthy elite class. Universal wealth, health, and peace is a beautiful thing, and for the first time is possible through the 12 Visions Party. Simply remove the rule of man ruling class through the prime law. We will be 1,000 times richer, just as the mostly unregulated free computer industry of the late 20th century, during which buying power multiplied 1,000 times in a few short years. The TVP is the calling for the entire non-ruling class, the suppressed class, the underclass. If we remove the rule of man through the prime law, i.e. the prime law amendment to our Constitution, then the people will rise up at all levels. The poor, the middle class, the successful, the self-made millionaires. The entire non-ruling class will rise up very rapidly into a wealthy elite class. Everyone will become rich, including the poor. The 12 Visions Party provides a practical plan for removing the ruling class. Therefore, the 12 Visions Party provides the people with the greatest get-rich opportunity in the history of the world. The computer revolution was just a forerunner to the coming all-encompassing TVP-induced great technological revolution. If someone tells you the computer's exponential multiplication of buying power was an anomaly due to the invention of the silicon chip, then you need to know about another indisputable example of this get-rich phenomenon that happened over 100 years ago, before high technology altogether. The computer revolution was an anomaly due to the absence of the rule of man. The TVP is here to eradicate the rule of man, the ruling class, and consequently liberate the suppressed class and send the entire suppressed class soaring up to the wealthy elite class. You see, there's only two classes of people. And you can ask both the poor and the middle class, as if there is one anymore. How would you like to see your little bit of spending money buy 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times more goods? And you can ask both the struggling and successful self-made business owners, how would you like to keep all of what you make without paying nearly half your money to the government? How would you like to have more and not have state and federal regulations burdening your business and cutting back your profits? The poor, the middle class, the struggling business owners, the rich business owners are all in the same family. The suppressed class, the non-ruling class. And they are played against each other by the ruling class. But they're in the same family of the non-ruling class or the suppressed class. Give up your love affair, your addiction to what they put out to keep you suppressed. When the suppressed class is free from the ruling class, then the self-made business owners soar ahead and compete for our business. They drive down our prices, which in turn drives up our buying power, making the poor and middle class more prosperous. Remember the computers. So there are two families of people, the ruling class and the non-ruling class, or the suppressed class. That is the ruling family and the suppressed family. Because of decades of media abuse, most people today do not understand their family relationship. For example, clever people in the ruling class influence people in the suppressed family to dislike each other We're led to believe we dislike, even hate those in our own family, those geniuses of society who are actually our greatest benefactors. We don't realize that those geniuses of society whom we're led to hate are actually part of our own suppressed family, part of the non-ruling class or the suppressed class. They are the successful parents who want to make their children successful too. Those geniuses of society, if left alone by the ruling class, if not targeted, maligned, regulated, attacked, and pushed down by the ruling class, those geniuses of society would raise the standard of living for all of us so fast and so dramatically that the less fortunate would quickly live prosperous and fulfilling lives. We wouldn't be begging for health care. In fact, even the poor would soon live like millionaires. Yes, we got a peek into what this could be like because the computer revolution, where buying power multiplied 1,000 times in a few short years. The invention of the assembly line, starting with Henry Ford's automobile, was another example, when people could suddenly buy cars and the other mass-produced goods that only millionaires could previously afford. There have been other examples, many, many more. And there's an eye-opening example that was during the railroad industry's rise that caused America to become more. Yes, there's a very sad story behind that one. There are examples throughout history involving the airline industry, the food industry, the publishing industry, the housing industry, the appliance industry, the medical industry, and more. These are the ones that deliver us what we use, and the politicians finish us off. All such examples of these industries that caused our standard of living to rise have a common thread. The ruling class was not yet hovering over those industries at the time of their prosperity explosions for the people. They all have yet another common thread. Their prosperity explosions for the people were all stopped by the ruling class. As you can see, when you take the time to read one of the greatest books you'll ever read, that I'll direct you to, a free book, when I'm done here in just a few minutes. Yes, you will learn about an incredible man, a genius, that was held back by a ruling class when you read a heartbreaking story of James J. Hill. The geniuses of society are like our successful parents who want to raise us to be successful and happy. Although we've been led to dislike or even hate our successful parents, Henry Ford was so generous, he was taken to court and thought to be going crazy for dramatically overpaying his employees and undercharging for cars. Of course, his genius worked, and he raised the standard of living of the entire country. If the geniuses of society were left alone by the ruling class, and if the people were not fooled by the ruling class, then the geniuses would raise our standard of living and make us love them just as the employees and customers loved Henry Ford. But by maligning and suppressing our greatest benefactors, under relentless bad press, suffocating regulations, and abusive litigation, their ability to send our standard of living soaring to new heights is destroyed. Through clever use of lies and propaganda, the ruling class leads us to dislike the geniuses of society as we remain suppressed in financially and emotionally inferior life. The founder of the 12 Visions Party, the TVP, has spent over 30 years researching and uncovering this well-hidden secret of the ruling class. Political leaders have suppressed the tenets of the prime law for 3,000 years. He's written thousands of pages evidencing, exposing this 3,000-year-old suppression by the ruling class. He did prepare in our movement, the 12 Visions Party, this grassroots movement, the rapid solutions to liberate us from our great suppression. His rapid solutions will bring us stunning explosions in our standard of living. What more do we want? Do we want to keep kissing the feet of our politicians? Do we want to keep bending over to them? No. We need the solution so all the people will live like millionaires in the 12 Visions world. Visions that can happen, not political rhetoric to get you to give more. We did see this happen to the computer industry, and now it can happen across all industries. The 12 Visions Party, along with its prime law, are here to make that happen. You may be a little bit blown away right now to think that the ruling class, their greed has absolutely kept you from the wealth and happiness you were meant to enjoy during your one life. And if you feel mad right now, it is because your government, your ruling class, your leaders have kept the prime secret, a secret from you. Yes, right here in America, they've kept from you the wealthy and successful life you were meant to live. We have the proof. It's been recorded. It's out there. It's been personally developed by the founder of this movement, who refuses to be too involved because he knows that people have to self-lead in order for a nation to become and remain the richest nation on earth. We have to give up our need to be led so we can launch our flight into riches. Yes, you may be angry right now, and it's okay, because certain people whom the leading class cause us to dislike or even hate will actually make us rich, including the poorest amongst us. Even the poor will be rich with the new TVP political system. It's time to ask for a divorce. Are you tired of arguing? Are you blue in the face? Indeed, the unhindered geniuses of society will make us all rich, all of us rich, just as they did in the computer industry and several times before. The 12 Visions Party provides the practical step-by-step system. You just have to be angry enough to want to make a change. The political leaders whom the ruling class causes us to admire or even love will eventually make us poor, including the middle class, even the rich eventually. A magistrate in one of our states this week, in a conversation with someone I personally know, is very concerned because he spoke of in 2008 and 9 the people who worked at the Walmarts and those jobs that Congress created, minimum wage jobs, were losing their houses. In 2010 and 11, the truckers, higher paid, but still working for a living class people in the non-ruling class family, losing their houses. Move on in. Now the professionals are even losing their houses. What will happen? It's up to us. They have suppressed us, and they suppressed the geniuses of society who could make us rich. The 12 Visions Party opens the flight to economic freedom and personal riches. the most ambitious get-rich plan since the beginning of time, is upon us. It is up to you to now recognize this rare opportunity. You and your loved ones are the direct beneficiaries. The new direction, this brand new direction, has never been done before and never conceived at this scale. Bringing down the ruling class sends the huge suppressed class at all its levels soaring up to the wealthy elite class, including you. How exactly will this happen? The rise of the 12 Visions Party, with its prime law amendment and the protection-only budget. Yes, we'd be arguing about the budget, but it sure as heck wouldn't be over something about how poor the people are. No, we will eradicate the rule of man to make all industry totally free. Businesses have to answer to their customers and do a good job to make money. Why don't they? Because they shouldn't be in business, and they're not a business, and they're taking from business. The geniuses will be the ones to drive down costs, drive up buying power, and make us all live like millionaires without lifting a finger. America, or any country that adopts the 12 Visions Party with its prime law, will become and remain the richest nation on earth. I would direct you to go to www.tvpnc.org. There you can get a copy of Make All the People Wealthy, including the poor. This is our platform. It isn't like the platform of your favored party. Because if you ever bothered to read them, you would have already been saddened to see the force that is upon you. Has been, always will be. No, we're not like them. Not one little bit. We're basically the anti-politics. What would a protection-only government, purified by the prime law amendment and protection-only budget, bring you? Wealth, health, peace, forevermore, if you embrace a get-rich plan for the people, the biggest get-rich opportunity of all time. What can you do to help? Spread the great news. Perhaps until you joined us tonight, you knew something was wrong, but you hadn't put a finger on it. Now you can get rich without lifting a finger by dropping your attraction to the ruling class trap. Maybe you had never seen the correlation between the two classes of people, the forceful ruling class and the good non-ruling class, our family. Maybe it took this furlough situation to make us realize we pay for non-essential people nearly 1 million, yet this isn't a business that pays its way. They have to take from us to pay them. And for how many years? We are struggling as prices have gone up for 100 years in America, at least, except for in the computer industry and its associated industries that the government couldn't get their hands on. The rich, the poor, any of us in the non-ruling class family must unite to get us out of the debt that we've been saddled with from this high-class, high-cost government. Go out there and Google wages in government, and you will see their grade scales are better than ours. Share those statistics. Copy the link up in your browser bar. Put it up on your pages in Facebook. Go like us in Facebook. 12 Visions Party National Group. 12 Visions Party National Group on Facebook. We'll be posting things up that you can share. Share with everyone else in our family. You see, those statistics, the ones that are put out by them, the numbers, don't lie. And those jobs do not build wealth for a nation. Those jobs must take from we the people. Don't make stuff up like the politicians. Keep your facts in context. We don't do politics like they do. We don't create illusions. People are awake and aware. We need to show them why they haven't become rich, why their parents didn't. Their heavyweight punch, that ruling class, will continue to hit us each day. It will not go away until we decide to unite as the good, benevolent class, the ones who deliver the real values. So long as we continue to choose to remain separated by any segregation, we will not end their punch in the face and the continued debt they put us in. Tell everyone you know about this 3,000-year-old secret. Suppression by the ruling class upon every generation before us and currently happening. We must unite to save ourselves and our children and their children and launch the richest nation on earth. Direct people to where they can read the book. Make everyone wealthy, including the poor. Go to www.tvpnc. That's for 12 Visions Party National Committee. tvpnc.org for organization. tvpnc.org. Then click on the sidebar platform. You won't find this love for people in your own party's platform. They each are based upon forcing the people to pay their way as they gather votes and keep people poor. They cause poverty. You've been stung, and it is time to stop the sting of the bee. Geniuses are held back, and we must free them to launch our wealth. It is a cause and effect world, and we must together end the rule of man to launch the wealth of mankind. Direct people to our website. I want to hear from you. I want to know why you're here tonight. I want to know how you want to help. I have places I can send you, but I want to know why you're really here. I want to know that you're fired up enough, that you're going to stick with this cause that's so important, the success of each individual by ending the suppression. But I want you to go click on Get Involved at www.tvpnc.org. Get involved. Get involved. You'll be glad you did, now that you know the rest of the story, the 3,000-year-old secret that maybe you didn't know until tonight. I will take hands, and how can you speak up on this call? Because there are people here that joined me because of Facebook, that have been following the 12 Visions Party National Group in Facebook for years, have been wondering when. Well, now is the time. Now is the time, and you found your calling.